Okay, so we'll start the session. Good evening, everyone. Again, I am Preetha Tripathi. I'm the Deputy General Manager at FICSI, and I welcome you all on the fourth webinar that we are running in the series for celebrating India's 75th year of independence under the flagship of Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav. So before we proceed with the actual webinar, I would again extend my warm welcome to all the participants here, all the students and the industry members, and most importantly, our speakers for the day in this webinar. I would now like to request Mr. Faraz Faridi, sir, who is the General Manager at FICSI, to give a brief about what our organization is before we start the session. Over to you, Faraz, sir. I think he's just joining. Just give me a second.
Thank you, Krita. Very warm welcome to everybody. I'm Faraz Faridi, General Manager of FICSI. Let me give you a brief about FICSI, the Sector Scale Council for Food Processing. Rohit, can I have the PPT small? Can I have the PPT, please? No, it's not visible to me here. FICSI, as you know, is the Sector Scale Council for Food Processing. Can I have the next slide? Yeah. Rohit. Food Industry Capacity and Skill Initiative. As you know, FICSI is promoted by FICCI and supported by NSGC and that is NSGC and our line ministry is MOFPI, that is Ministry of Food Processing Industries. Our main we are a not-for-profit organization working to create skilled manpower in the food processing space. Can I have the next slide, please? I have the next slide, which has the governing council. Yeah, in our governing council, we have members from government and the private industry. From the government, we have CFTRI, NSDC, and Ministry of Food Processing and MSD representatives coming in. And among the organizations, we have Indian Bread Manufacturers Association and FICSI. Then we have Cremica. From Cremica, Mr. Akshay Bhakta is the president of FICSI. He is the chairman and managing director of Cremica Foods Limited. We have ITC. We have representatives from Cargill, then Nestle, MTR, LT Foods, Godrej, Haldiram, Patanjali, Desai Brothers, and Britannia. Next. These are some of the members or industry partners that we have. Next. These are our knowledge associates. FSSI is one of them. Then we have NEPTEM, IFPT, CFTRI, Mysore, IGNU, and Lady Irwin College, Delhi. Apart from that, we have Sector Skill Council for Food Processing in Canada. And we are planning to have a number of MOUs with them for online courses and exchange of students. That is going to come in as soon as the COVID times are over. Can I have the next slide, please? The major functions of Food Processing Sector Skill Council is to develop standards, content and curriculum. FICSI has already made about 49 qualification packs. We conduct assessments and certification of trained candidates. For this, we affiliate and accredit training partners and training centers. We plan and facilitate the execution of training of trainers and assessors who are then in charge of taking care of assessments and trainings of on behalf of the Sector Skill Council. We work closely with policymakers to strategize different initiatives in the food processing ecosystem skilling space. Can I have the next slide, please? FICSI is authorized by FSSAI to train. We have an MOU with the FSSAI to train food handlers. We have already trained over 35,000 candidates, and we also have a job portal where we try to bring in the industry and the other like candidates and industry and training partners who have trained different candidates. They are all on the same platform, and we are populating this job portal, which is one of its kind in the food industry domain. Then we have a learning management system through which we have floated a number of courses. This is a training and assessment academy of FICSI. Through FICSI, we are also implementing NAPs for food processing in the industries. And in the first quarter of this year, we have already done over 1,200 candidates. We have enlisted 1,200 candidates under NAPs in the food industry. I think that's all. Thank you very much, Rohit. Rita, can you take this forward?
Thank you so much, sir. Just before I proceed with setting the context for the webinar today, there are a couple of things that I would want all the participants here to know. I think the connection that we have is really very robust here, so there is no problems with the audible. I suggest all the people who are putting in the chat messages that they're not able to hear things. We are sitting across different rooms and we are still able to hear, so I think you can sort of unplug your microphones or whatever and check again if you are hearing it or not. Or maybe it's always a good idea that you disconnect and reconnect again and join the session. That is one thing. And for all the participants who are sending out their email IDs in the chat, wait for the time you will be given a certificate of participation, and how you're going to get that, we will be coming at it at the end of the session. So right now, let's not flood the chat messages. We'll come to it. So without further ado, let's continue with today's session. So before I introduce my speakers to you, what are we doing here today? So we, as you all know, that we are here for this webinar that talks about the traceability and recall systems in the food industry. Traceability, as you know, is vitally important, for ensuring food safety, as well as it's a mark of the operational efficiency of any organization. And when it comes to the food and beverage industry, it's all about connecting the dots. Traceability refers to the functions that trace the flow of foods throughout the production, processing, and distribution stages. And with it, it's possible to locate a product at any stage of the food chain and within the supply chain. There are a number of reasons why traceability is an essential goal for the food and beverage industry, because it is very essential in maintaining food safety, and traceability also requires producers to have a sound integrated system in place that ensures effective controls both in the day-to-day operations, but also in the case of any contamination or any food safety issue that occurs. So Rohit, if I can have the speaker slide, the slide for the first speaker on the screens. So the thing that we are doing here today, this is a knowledge sharing session on food traceability and recall, and we will be following it up, with courses on food traceability and recall that will add value and more knowledge for the students and industry members that takes them throughout this process. So the first speaker for today we have is Mrs. Chinmayee Deuolgaonkar ma'am. She's currently the Managing Director at FoodChain ID, and she comes with 23 years of experience in the agriculture, food and beverage industry sector. She has trained senior officials from FSSAI, many state FDAs, Dubai municipality, Kazakhstan on various topics, and she was also invited by the FAO to contribute in writing food safety framework for ASEAN countries. She had visited more than 35 countries, and she has worked with DNVGL for over 15 years before she moved on to FoodChain ID. She's also the national level resource person at FSSAI, and she has contributed immensely in developing many courses that we have, that gets offered under the FOSTEC program. And I think we couldn't have a better speaker, who could take you through the food traceability systems than her. Thanks so much, ma'am, for taking time out of your super busy schedule and, agreeing to take this session for us. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Preetha. And I hope my slides are there with you because I'm unable to share the screen. Can you just check?
You can share it now. I think you can share it now. Try sharing, ma'am.
It's not because it's not getting. It's not getting.
Coming. Just
yeah.
Just a moment. I'll do it. Give me a second.
Although I can see as presenter rights, but I'm not getting that option to share.
Okay.
And then otherwise, the slides are mailed to you and Rohit, so you can just check if you have received.
Yeah.
Else, you can start with Anil's presentation, and then I will take over.
I have. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
So I'll put it on display mode. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and thank you for inviting. This has been a topic which probably is a hot coming topic now, which it always was, but now this has become a very hot topic because of certain requirements coming in from UN and Indian regulations as well. So this is Chinmayee Deuolgaonkar from FoodChain ID, and we'll be talking on this food traceability and recall to give you the brief on what is really expected. Next slide, please. Preetha, you will have to do that slide. So what we are going to look at is what and why of traceability and recall, the requirements of traceability and the requirements of recall. So this is what essentially we are going to look at it in 3 topics. Preetha, you will have to put your because I'm getting continuously the participant joining in, waiting in lobby notification. So some part of the screen is not being visible. So probably you'll have to disable that activity.
Just a moment. Kamal, if you can disable that activity.
So that will give the complete clarity of the slides.
Is it better now, ma'am?
No, that Nishu Basu is waiting in the lobby +7. That is still there coming in on your screen. So that should get dissolved.
Okay.
You can close that and let that be the control for the admin. Okay, you can move on to the next slide because I'm sure if it is not visible to me, it's not visible to participants as well. So you have already covered my introduction, so you can skip to the next slide. Yeah, so before I start, I will just, you can scroll down, Preetha. I'll give you a brief on FoodChain ID. It's, as the name indicates, it is exclusively in the space of agriculture and food and beverage industry. And we have about 38,000 plus clientele from 100 plus countries. Our services are given in 4 buckets: certification, DNA-based testing, training, and technology-enabled services. And in certification, we have been recognized as the certification body of the year by BRC for 5 consecutive times. We do identity preserve certification like non-GMO, vegan, etc. Sustainability certification. Then in the testing, we have the DNA-based testing, which is like metagenomics, DNA barcoding, non-GMO, geo identification, organic, etc. Training from lead auditor courses to regulatory courses, and then we have technology enabled services wherein we have a database of global regulations for 200 plus countries for almost 11,000 plus commodities. So that's about the FoodChain ID. Next slide, Preetha. Okay, these are the sectors in the areas in which we have expertise in the, whether it is in food and beverage or food contact or healthcare and animal and pet care products. So that's the expertise what we have, and all the services are revolving around these activities. Next slide, Preetha. Yes. So this is a question for you, and please use your chat box to answer this question. Preetha, don't click on the slide first. Let this question get answered. From your expertise, forget food industry, forget anything, just a general industry. Whom do you think that who has demonstrated, which industry has demonstrated some of the best traceability system even before technology has come in? Please use your chat box and let me see your answers. I would like to hear from you that which industry. We have seen number of industries and we know number of, just like food industry. So no, not the company, I'm saying the industry. Okay, so which industry has shown some of the best traceability systems even before technology came in? Okay, so beverage, food, milk, they're all part of the food industry, right? Pharma, okay. Automobile, okay, I agree. Automobile has got some of the best traceability. Electronics, nutraceutical, again part of food. Confectionery food, no, please go beyond food, not just food. Army, okay. The ammunition industry, okay, that industry is supposed to be like that. Okay, courier service, good example. FMCG, automobile. So most of you are coming towards automobile industry apart from food. Yes, ammunition is right. Courier service, right? Medical, yes. Something which is at a very basic level. Thoda sa, ek chota sa. Entertainment industry, that's really surprising, Sakshi. Entertainment industry mein kaise traceability ho hai, but it's interesting. Oil, Maruti is again automobile, good. So you are all, most of you, the answers is coming as automobile. Space industry, yes, it's highly controlled industry, so it has to have traceability system. Mobile, again electronics part. Post office, very good. SCM Nashik, you have been really good in going beyond the food industry. Bollywood. I love that answer. I don't know how, but I love that answer. Okay, quite a good one. So the first one, there are many examples. The one that I had selected for this particular webinar is one, if you can click Pritha, the first industry. Who are these people? Any answer? Who are these people? The picture that you are seeing here. They are not Indian government. Dabbe wala, correct. They are Mumbai Dabba walas, right? And you would be knowing that their traceability system has been so fantastic that there is not a single miss. I mean, I think they are the only one who has received 6 Sigma and accuracy level of 99.6 times 9. You know, so that is what Mumbai Dabba wala has been, and their case study is in Harvard, in United Nations, Harvard University, you name it. So that's the first industry, which is one of the best industry for traceability. And Pritha, click on the second one. Yeah. So what is the second picture? What is the second picture? What is the second picture is about what? Very good, Devesh. Absolutely right. This is a dhobi ghat, right? So laundry is another industry which has been like absolutely without any technology, without anything. आप एक अपने पड़ोसी वाले इस पे कॉर्नर पे जाओ, नुक्कड़ पे जाओ, वहाँ पे आयन वाला रहेगा, लॉन्ड्री वाला रहेगा, उसको दो, वो कहीं पे भी जाएगा, कोई शहर के कोई भी हिस्से में जाएगा, लेकिन आपके यहाँ पे वापस आएगा. So these two industries, without use of actual so-called modern technology, have established traceability system to an absolute accuracy level. Do you agree? Right? So अगर ये लोग कर सकते हैं तो food industry के लिए क्या recall system, right? Pritha, next slide.
If you know the control to change the slide, see if you can do that.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it's getting this, you'll have to disable the ones what is being reflected on your screen, Pritha. Yeah. Okay. So why traceability and recall? If we have the base answer, why it is so, Pritha, I'm not sure if I can control that. Yeah. Wait a minute, I'm able to see something. I'm not sure if I can control that, Pritha. You will have to help me out with that.
Okay, ma'am. Just give me a second.
Yeah.
But no.
So street food.
Moment, ma'am. I'm just disabling the things. Just give me a moment.
Yeah, sure. So all as you could see that मुझे interesting answer था Bollywood. मुझे पता नहीं कैसे Bollywood था as a part of traceability, but that was really an interesting answer. Rita, are you sharing the slide?
Slide. Just a moment, ma'am. I'm sharing. Just give me a second.
Yeah. And I'm seeing the number of messages that there are no access to chat. So maybe you can ensure that the chat option is available. You can reduce down the size of the presentation. It's right now on a very big layer. It's on an enlarged level. No, it's still not in a full mode. I mean, unable to see that in the mode. Yeah, this is okay. This is okay. But please see that the participants has got access to chat box, because most of the messages are what we are seeing here are that there is no access to the chat box.
Ma'am, there is an access because they are sending messages, so they have access.
Okay, fine. So so why traceability is because is it possible for you to disable waiting, because this is really getting disturbed? Can somebody disable this participant waiting? Because anyway, this is a webinar and anybody can join at any point of time. And plus that sound is also kind of, if you can.
Coming, yes, ma'am, we're working on it.
Yeah.
Just a
Yeah, I agree, Scarlett. This constant drips on.
Is it okay, ma'am?
Yeah, it is visible now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's visible, and that I hope that has been disabled, the participant waiting. So why traceability and recall? Well, for the simple reason that it is a regulatory requirement in most of the regulations globally, not just India, but across the globe, all developed countries, undeveloped countries, everywhere. This is the global regulation requirement. The food industries, those who are certified to our GFSI standards like BRC, FSSC, SQF, IFF, etc., as including ISO 22000, it is the requirement to have a robust traceability system and a recall system. It is also customer requirement. Some customers are it's what we call it as obligatory requirement. And the fourth reason is, Pritha, if you can click on the fourth reason. It is basically useful in identifying improvement points in the food supply chain. So at a national level, for example, today morning we had a discussion on how the traceability can support India in establishing or meeting up, UN's SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. So we had a very deliberate session, and the point that came in, like, if India decides to take a target that we will reduce down food wastage by 1 to 4% by 2030. So what are the areas in which the food wastage has to be reduced down? So we take, generally an arbitrary figure that we have X number of percentage at harvesting level, X number at transportation, X number at the processing site, etc., etc. But do we really know what is that, whether that X is authentic number or not? And that is where all this traceability will come in, because it is all linked, and it will not just give linkages, but it will give you a reliable value for what has really been the input to what has been the output to the next point in the supply chain. So these are the reasons. So regulatory, the standard requirement, obligatory requirement, and from a nation perspective, identifying the pinpoint areas where really the improvement is being required. Next slide, please. So now let's come to the FSSI requirement, because we are in India and the food industry has to comply with FSSI requirement. So from where this is flowing? This is flowing, you can just click on this, Pritha, please click it on. So this is flowing in from the Act. As you know, Act is the first part of the standard, is a regulation, and this has come from the Act Section 28, that food recall has to be initiated by the authorities where food is not in compliance, it is unsafe, and it has got consumer complaint. So from the Act, we have regulations, and that is the reason why recall plan has been made a compulsion as a part of licensing requirement and also as a part of annual returns, right? So now the draft which has been released, it is also including the number of recalls what has happened as an information to be submitted to government authorities. Okay, so from this particular point, if you see where is this coming in, so in the licensing regulation, this 5.9.1, which is talking about a very strong system of traceability and documented product recall plan. These two are very clearly written in the regulation, and then the ones which are highlighted saying that rapidly recall and the lot of the product, right? So this is what has been coming in from the regulation from licensing and registration. And to facilitate that, there has been a separate regulation on recall gear which was released in 2017. So all companies, all FBOs has to submit the recall plan from a regulatory perspective. Yeah. Next slide, please. right? So let's look at some important terminologies. When we say traceability, we are basically talking about some important, we need to know what are, the important terminologies which are used. So first terminology is called as tracing. Now what is tracing means? Tracing is the history of food throughout the food chain, upstream and downstream. So whether it is called as, from raw material to end product, and from the downstream means from again product to raw material. So all the thing, whatever is required is called as tracing. Next one, please click on Preetha. Yeah, and one more. The second terminology is tracking. Now what does tracking means? That at any point of time, the location of a product needs to be determined, right? So whether my product is in the forward supply chain, at which part in the forward supply chain, how much quantity, that is what is called as tracking. So traceability terminology basically includes both tracing and tracking. Okay. Then the third terminology is mass quantity balance. So what is mass quantity balance? It's an activity carried out to verify comparison, comparison of the consistency between input and output flow. So I use 100 kilo of raw material. I am supposed to obtain 99 kilos of final product. So whether I have obtained 99 kilos and then this 99 into which part of the supply chain, how much is used by QC, how much is gone for something, all the complete tracking of these 99 products. So so this is the mass quantity balance. And the last one is the recall, which is nothing but any measure aimed at achieving the return of any dangerous or hazardous, including potentially hazardous product that has already been supplied or made available to consumer by the producer or distributor. Very simple definition. जो भी चीज जो पोटेंशियली डेंजरस है या हैजार्डस है, जो ऑलरेडी मार्केट में कंज्यूमर के पास पहुंच गई है, वो वापस लेके आना चाहे प्रोड्यूसर से या चाहे डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर से. सो दैट इज व्हाट इज कॉल्ड एज रिकॉल. सो दीज आर जस्ट फोर important, there are many important terminologies, but we have picked up four for in the interest of time. Next slide, please. So let's take this example, right? This is Pringles with pizza flavors. So it has got multiple number of, this is one product, but it has got, please click on this next slide one. But it has got multiple ingredients, right? So as you can see from the list of ingredients, probably 50 odd ingredients which has been given over here. Now, if we have to do a traceability for this particular product, how would that traceability be, right? So next slide, please. So this is the product. Now let's see, please click on. Now these are the ingredients, okay? So now let's see first. So what these ingredients which you are seeing, the batches, everything that has come in. No, wait a minute. Just go back. Just don't click. Just go back. Yeah, just keep, yeah, stay there. So all these products, so what we say is normally all the standards will stay one step down and one step up, right? So raw material supplier से लेके आपका immediate जो first dispatch है उधर तक, right? आपके, it is not consumer but it is customer. So this is what a typical management system will look like. But regulations require more, because when you want to recall, you need to have a little bit extra traceability and tracking. So what it requires is that हमारे raw material के suppliers क्या है, उनका FSSI का, whether they are FSSI licensed suppliers, qualities, COAs, etc. Then when the product is being made, so उस वक्त right from the processing conditions, machines, कौन से लोग थे, क्या processing parameters थे, so entire thing what we call it as internal traceability. So what when the product is being made, पूरा internal traceability, and once the product is out, then the external traceability till the retailer level, till the supplier level, depending upon the complexity and the situation. But jitna ho sakte, we know that till consumer level it is not possible. It is possible only till, in some cases, distributor level, and maybe in very minor cases till retailer level. But otherwise it's very challenging. But where is it, where the product is? So that's the second part of it. Now look at this. So this is the first part of it. So यहाँ पे मैंने 100 Pringles के boxes बनाए. 100 बिंगस बॉक्सेस बनाने के लिए मुझे 105 किलो रॉ मटेरियल लगा और ये मेरे 100 बॉक्सेस जो है ये यहाँ पे गए हैं. दिस इज द हॉरिजॉन्टल ट्रेसेबिलिटी. देन वी हैव अ सेकंड ट्रेसेबिलिटी, व्हाट वी कॉल इट एज वर्टिकल ट्रेसेबिलिटी. प्रीथा, क्लिक दैट. So vertical traceability means what? आप एक ingredient लोगे, you will take one of the ingredient and that ingredient has gone in which number of batches, how many number of batches, that is what we call it as vertical traceability. So when we expect organization to check the traceability, we expect to check both horizontal as well as vertical traceability. Click on the next, Preetha. So periodic checking of traceability and recall system is also one of the, not just the standards requirement, but also regulatory requirement. So horizontal and vertical traceability. Next one. Okay. So when we say traceability, its objectives and principles kya hai? Any traceability should talk about 4 things. रिलायबिलिटी, दैट मीन्स जो हमारी ट्रेसेबिलिटी सिस्टम है, जो डेटा कम्युनिकेशन है, जो इंटरसेक्शन पॉइंट्स है, दे आर रिलायबल. नंबर 2, रैपिडिटी, मतलब हम कितने क्विकली, हाउ क्विकली वी आर एबल टू ट्रेस दैट. Some of the requirements, some of the retailers has got requirement to do the entire traceability within 2 hours. Some of them has got within 3 hours. But generally it is said that कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा 4 घंटे में, it's not written anywhere, but generally it is said that कि आपको maximum 4 घंटे के अंदर में आपको पूरा traceability, you should be able to establish that. So how quickly are you able to capture your data and the records, etc. Then the precision, the links management, right? कि जो हमने कहा है, ऐसा नहीं कि कहीं का और डेटा लिया और यहाँ पे लिंक कर दिया. So what is the precision? And the fourth point is consistency. कभी भी हम देखेंगे तो can we have that consistency which is through unique identification and other thing. So these are the objectives and principles. So अगर ये 4 आपके principles meet हो रहे हैं तो that means you have an excellent traceability system. So this is the I mean जैसे हर चीज का principle होता है वैसे traceability के principles होते हैं. So you will have traceability partners, as you can see in the last figure, like, so one is a traceability which you are seeing within the food system, food ecosystem, and the second one is internal flow for physical flow and the information flow. So whether these two are matching or not, these 2 things will talk about the 4 principles on which the traceability system is built in. Next one. So this is a fish packet which is being picked up from the retailer. Can you click on the question? Just click on, click Preetha. To the ocean, from where this is captured and within how much time? I would like to have your answers here. ये फिश का पैकेट है, प्रोसेस फिश बनाया गया है. इट्स अ फ्रोजन पैकेट विच इज बीइंग पिक्ड अप फ्रॉम अ रिटेल आउटलेट. तो ये अगर मैं पैकेट लेती हूँ तो कैन आई ट्रेस जो फिश है वो ओशन में या कहीं से कहाँ से कैप्चर हुई है? कैन आई ट्रेस दैट? नंबर 1. एंड नंबर 2, विद इन हाउ मच टाइम? So Melvin is saying 1 hour, 1 hour. Preeti is saying no, it's not possible to trace. Okay, so Romani is saying yes, possible. Ishan is saying again no, check the batch number. Yes, so batch number से शायद आपको internal traceability, जहाँ पे ये produce हुआ था वहाँ वो traceability मिलेगी. लेकिन can you trace this back to the ocean? Possible. Okay, using QR code, batch number, yes, but you are right. But वो batch code और QR code से फिर भी आपको क्या मिलेगा कि आप वो processing plant में जाएंगे, लेकिन processing plant के आगे कैसे जाएंगे? Okay, so I'm getting some answers. Very good. Yes, but not specific to the ocean. So हाँ ना. So we all are in agreement that कि जो processing plant है वहाँ पे 100% traceability मिलेगी, लेकिन उसके आगे जो वहाँ पे if we go for backward integration till ocean या the farm where it is harvested, from where it is harvested, वो शायद पता नहीं चलेगा. This is what we are getting from the answers यहाँ पे. But किसी ने कुछ एक answer दिया था, so I will come back to that answer which I have already got from the chat over here. So okay, assuming that कि ये मिल रहा है, so I am getting the answers like blockchain and other thing. Assuming that कि ये है, तो कितने टाइम में आना चाहिए? कितने टाइम में ओशन तक की ट्रेसेबिलिटी मिल सकती है? कितने टाइम में? 3 hours, Okay, Odisha, lot number, no, okay, so there are multiple answers, right? It depends on the system with which it has been introduced. So आपको यहाँ पे एक probably आपने पढ़ा भी होगा कि वॉलमार्ट के जो फ्रैंक यांस थे, जो उनके ग्लोबल फूड सेफ्टी मैनेजर डायरेक्टर थे, उन्होंने उनके एक प्रोडक्ट, एक स्टोर से उनका एक कट मैंगो का बॉक्स उठाया, and he asked his team that please trace this, that from which orchid this mangoes has come in. And their team took 7 days to identify that from which orchid that mango had come in. And tab unhone kaha ki this is not done, I need to have an accurate system. And that's when Walmart and IBM, they used blockchain technology to trace out that particular box of mango. So that 7 days time was reduced to 2.1 seconds. That is the technology, that is the benefit of technology, right? So let's see what technologies are being used in traceability. Pritha, can you click on the next slide? So you have multiple things, like you have the alphanumeric codes, you have barcode system. No, don't do that. Just let me complete. So you have alphanumeric codes, barcodes, you have RFID systems, you have product markers. There are multiple systems which are available. जैसे आप यहाँ पे लेवल पे देख रहे हैं. So there is कौन से इस पे क्या क्या मिलता है, यू नो, अगर ऑरेंज कलर है तो ऑर्गेनिक है, नॉन ऑर्गेनिक है, मल्टीपल वेराइटीज. Pritha, click on this. And this is the latest one which you are seeing, and Anil is going to explain you on this particular thing. And as you already have the answers here, it's called as blockchain technology. And blockchain technology, what is that? And the details of that will be explained by Anil. I'm not getting in details of that, but as you can see here, certificate of origin se leke till, you know, the end, you can trace out everything using blockchain, and that's a no alteration system. So the data cannot be forged. So this is something which is being used, but alone blockchain is not possible. It has to be coupled up with IoT so that we get the desired result of what we wanted as a process control. Anil will explain, throw more light on that. Pritha, next, please click on. Traceability is a backbone for product recall, right? We all agree to this? Pritha, next. So let's see what is product recall. Okay, these are what? Black papers and white papers, right? Very common commodity, very common. I mean, one of the highest exported commodity which is sent from India. Now we have a software wherein we track the recalls, rejections, border refusal, import refusals, you know, from almost 185 countries for almost 600 commodities. So I have picked up some data for black paper, white paper in last 3 months of time, and you will see what is the result. Can you click on the slide, Smita, Pritha? So as you can see that if you take the hazards which are associated with black paper, pink paper, white paper, etc. So on the left side, you will see that India is the number one. Definitely, we are the largest one for export. So India, followed by Brazil, Vietnam, China are the countries which have seen the maximum rejections or maximum hazards in black paper. Now, out of which the topmost is the import refusal. Okay, followed by salmonella, then fungal modes, aflatoxin, pesticides, and so on. Now, if we see what import refusal, what are the reasons for import refusals, you will be surprised. Can you click on this? Right, so as you can see is like from June 2021, you know, May and other thing. So you will see here that why it is refused, why there has been rejection, and if it is rejection, and there has been also fraudulent documentation, you know, food safety hazard, salmonella, papaya seed, exactly, adulteration, and many other things, right? So once it is rejected, it has to be recalled. Now, whether this is border refusal or now this is an export data, but we do also have the you know, domestic data as well. So now if it is rejected, Pritha, can you click? Initiate a recall. There is no other choice, right? You can't, it has got no in the border, simple. So let's see what is the next one. Can you click on the slide, Samantha? Right, so now when we say recall, FSSI has come out with the regulation. I mean, FSSI released the regulation in 2017 on the recall, and what are the requirements when somebody, for a regulation to meet, recall regulation. So it has got basically 8 components. So the first component is initiation. So why a recall has to be initiated? Now you saw some cases, some reasons. So it could be a customer complaint. It could be someone informing the CEO of FSSI, and he could initiate a recall. And the recall notices are given by FSSI. And we recently had one recall with one of the spice company. So, so initiation. Then the second one is the operation and the recall plan. That is to maintain a complete recall plan. What is it and how it is to be done? And there is a requirement that within 24 hours you need to submit the schedule one. So if we are saying that we have a traceability requirement of 3 hours, so we need to give the schedule 1 format, I mean the information in schedule 1 format to FSSI within 24 hours. Then the third one is recall communication. Fourth one is recall status and report. Then the food recovery, that means bringing back the recall product. Post recall report, what has been done, destroyed, not destroyed, kya ki hua hai, investigation, then termination and follow-up action. So on these 8 items, the recall regulation is based, and the FBO's recall plan has to cover these 8 points. Okay, next one. So what are the steps in the product recall plan which are required as per FSSR? Now there are 10 steps. So there is also, this is a publicly available guidance document on FSSI website, that there are 10 steps suggested by FSSI, and each step has got its own activities to do. So it starts right from assembling a recall management team, notification to authorities, etc. I'll take you through these steps in brief. Preetha, next slide. Yeah, so these 10 steps, the first one is recall management team. So who is part of the team? Just like our HACCP team, we have decision makers, QA, technical, media, complaint, food safety authority contact, legal counsel, etc. Next, the second one, Preetha, please click. Inform the authority as per schedule 1 format given in the regulation. Third one is identify all products to be recalled. So here comes the main role of our traceability system, like code, brands, sizes, etc. Detain and segregate the product. So identify amount at each location, segregation, and prevent distribution. Then do not consume communication which is informing consumer from the respected stakeholders. Distribution, preparation of distribution list that identifies account that received recall products, किसके पास कहाँ पे कितना मिला है, क्या distribute हुआ है, etc. etc. The seventh one, Rita, please click. Verification for effectiveness of recall, that is submission of periodic report to authorities and ensuring that the entire product, entire batch is recalled. Next one, control of recalled product. Which is again the actions part of it. 9th and 10th. Decision on recall product, that is destroy, reprocess, verification, and the 10th one is fix the root cause. Why that has been, why that has happened, and what are the controls that we have it in place. So this is the expectation of meeting, making and meeting the recall plan, and definitely we would like to check that whether our plan is accurate or not, and that is what we call it as mock recall, ensuring that we are having a mock recall. Correct? So if I have to just sum up our my presentation, I would put it this way, that strong traceability is a foundation, is the essence of robust product recall system. Without traceability system, we cannot have a strong product recall system, right? So with this, Preetha, you can click the next slide. So with this, I end my presentation. Thank you and stay safe. And these are our contact details. I hope I finished in time, Preetha.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving such good and in-depth sites about what the food traceability and recall system is. I would now move on to our just give me a second, to our next speaker.
Thank you all for your comments, and I appreciate if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us.
So the second speaker for today with us is Mr. Anil Nadig. He's the co-founder at Tracex Technologies, which is situated in Bangalore. He's an electronics and communication engineer with over 2 decades of experience in working with companies like Infosys, British Telecom, Mrs. Um, and personally, he's a very passionate person about safe food, farming, and making an impact in the agriculture ecosystem. He's the co-founder, as I said earlier, at TraceX Technology, building digital agriculture platform for a connected, transparent, and traceable agri and food supply chain that leverages blockchain technology. TraceX Technology is an agri-tech startup based out of Bangalore, and their flagship platform, that is the agri-tech platform, FoodChain, it leverages the power of blockchain to digitize the food and agriculture ecosystem to make the supply chain clean, credible, and traceable. Anil sir, thanks so much for taking time out of your schedule and agreeing to be a speaker for the webinar today. I hand it over to you for your presentation. Rohit, please stop your slides and let sir present this.
Thank you. Great. Thank you, Preetha.
Sir, you're on mute. Sir, you're on mute.
Can you hear me now? Better?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Preetha, and the entire team for getting this organized. Really happy to be here. And thank you, Chinmayee Madam, for this wonderful session. There are plenty of things that we all got to know today. Let me share my screen quickly and walk you through. And Preetha, just to moderate, how much time do I have for the session now?
So I think we can go 10 minutes. 10, 15 minutes. I think we could stretch it a little bit because we run into some connectivity issues and things in the start. So I think the topic is so interesting that I don't believe that the participants are going to be a little iffy about it. So I think we can take 10 minutes around say.
Okay. Can you see my screen? Is it visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible. It's visible.
Okay. Wonderful. So let me make it quick and then also try to cover some of the important points. So hopefully that will give people an idea of how technology can play an important role in ensuring transparency, trust, and traceability. So that's what we do here at Tracex Technologies, building technology platform for a safer, transparent, and traceable supply chain. Right. So when we talk about traceability and the intersection of technology, you see a lot of things being told to people. Technology can solve many problems, but really, in terms of traceability, in order to effectively implement it, technology is a very essential component of making that happen efficiently. Otherwise, the entire process of traceability and food recall and understanding your supply chain becomes quite complex, right? Especially in a global world where there is no longer just you're not even if I ask people today, do you know at least one farmer or one source of food, can you name exactly who's produced it, right? I'm 100% sure people will struggle to do that. Right? And that's the reality. Today, you're getting apples from California, almonds from California, maybe some of the kiwis from New Zealand to products from various different corners of the country itself, right? So how can we know where your food is coming from and is it really safe to eat and so on? So this is a little bit about Tracex team. I'm the co-founder along with Srivatsa and our team here. We've been fortunate to win some awards as well during our course of the organization. When I talk about traceability, we look at two parts to it. So one, as consumers, right? So as a consumer, I want to make sure that the food I'm eating is safe. I want to make sure that the food is nutritious, it's healthy, it is fresh. I want to make sure all of that is there. But can I be confident about what I'm eating today? Is it clean, safe, fresh? It's very hard for me to find that. I have to depend or rely on somebody's word for it. A brand is making a claim, I have to depend on that, right? Now, and you or me are not alone. Significant portion of consumers in the world are looking for transparency in food systems. And they also want to know more information about the food that they consume. So any brand which is actually offering this, consumers are willing to switch, right? It's the same thing, you and me. If a brand is willing to be transparent and tell us more about how ethically, sustainably they're sourcing the food, how clean, fresh it is for consumption, then I would naturally choose that. Right? So why traceability? I think a lot of this has already been covered by Chinmayee madam already, but also from a technology perspective, it's very important to know where, as a business, how your products are coming, where it is coming from, who's produced it, when was it sourced, when was it procured, how was it processed, how safely it was transported, for example, and distributed, and finally, how is it reaching the customer. So knowing that entire history of the food and being able to track the exact ingredients of a finished product, or the position of it, or the location of it, to know how old it is, or it is has it been expired, and also to know from where all which all places it has actually come from, and so that you have a fair idea of how this all how your whole ingredients that are going into production of your system and the distribution until it reaches the consumer, and ensuring there is enough shelf life to ensure the quality of the product before it is consumed. Traceability is very essential as a tool to achieve many of these different objectives. Right? And at the same time, when you talk about food provenance, is basically being able to communicate very effectively the story or the journey of the food in a very simple and transparent manner. Right? So these are things that are very important. But when you look at the challenge in a country like India, right, a lot of the food gets produced by smallholder farmers, so farmers who have less than 1 hectare of land. So the challenge is that unless you are able to digitize and connect this ecosystem effectively, it becomes very hard for you to get the traceability of the product. And then anybody making the claim, because somebody is aggregating, somebody is producing, somebody is aggregating, and finally it is getting distributed, manufactured, distributed, and reaching the customer. So unless you know all the hands it's changing, it's very hard for you to track and trace the product. And any credibility of the claim that it is fresh, if you don't know when it was produced, when it was harvested, you're just buying from a middleman, how would you know it is fresh? And you can visually inspect and see, but you would not know for sure whether the food is produced in a safe manner. There could be some infestation of bacteria or fungal, or the product shelf life itself might have expired. So many such questions arise about the credibility of the claim itself. And obviously, there are so many quality and food safety compliances that need to be met. How would one actually do that? And these are the challenges. And what we do with our TraceX blockchain network. And just to give you a quick 1 minute about blockchain, blockchain is a digital ledger technology. So essentially, it is any data that goes into the blockchain is immutable. So you cannot delete the data. You can only make some modifications, but all modifications are also tracked. So it is a data repository in which all of the data is immutable. It's extremely secure and ensures that all the participants in the chain have a single version of the truth that is visible. So right from where the farmer who is producing it, to aggregation, processing, logistics, distribution, all the way to going to the consumer, all of the relevant data points in the chain can be captured and put on the blockchain network for everybody to transparently see and visualize the information. And that's what we enable with our blockchain network here. So you can imagine blockchain as an underlying fabric in which all of the critical data points are getting recorded in the system. So if you think of the major participants in any typical food supply chain in the context of India, you will see from a farmer to a producer organization, to the government doing regulations, to food processing, storage, logistics. Each of these will play a significant role in how the quality and the final consumability of the product itself is determined based on all of these. So, but all of these touch points is extremely important that you know exactly how these participate in the chain. So our technology really helps get all of them together. So I'll talk about some use cases, just give you an idea of how the data is. We have a digital application through which Android application through which all the first mile production data is captured on the mobile application. Every farmer land can be geo-mapped here. There's comprehensive food manufacturing processes that are recorded on the web application, right, from which all ingredients went into a manufacturing process, what were the different sources through which those ingredients were obtained, the quality parameters of each of those ingredients, and finally when the output, like ma'am mentioned about load balancing, balancing your stocks, etc. So all of the mass balancing, all of that happens in the application, and finally the entire traceability is recorded and tracked on the blockchain. You can print a simple QR code, and that can be stuck on a packet of, be it rice or any finished product, and the entire traceability can be derived. So, just as an example, this is a very popular product. If people eat burgers, iceberg lettuce actually goes into manufacturing that as one of the ingredients. The entire traceability of that chain is done on our application, and every crate has a QR code. When scanned, the entire journey of that food is tracked. And it's very important because unless you know, as a business organization, you don't know which food used, what were the methods used in cultivation, and when is the harvest likely to happen, how much of it is available, what quantum was harvested, how much was processed, how much was ultimately shipped to the consumer. So all of that information is visible. So you can use it for driving your internal efficiency, operational efficiency, and tracking, and then also use that for external, for example, giving that provenance, sharing that with the customer to increase your brand value. Right? And this is how if you scan a QR code, this is all of the information that is visible across the chain, right? From the location, the farmer, how it was produced, processed, and ultimately the entire journey is captured in the chain. And again, the importance of why this becomes critical is as you start having multiple participants in the chain, the credibility of the claim itself increases. So madam also mentioned about black pepper and the significant amount of rejections that are happening. Right? Basmati rice, for example, is one of the large exported products from India, and we've got significant challenges in the market with residue levels of pesticides not meeting import standards for different countries, especially in European Union and US and so on. The entire batches get rejected. And huge amount of financial, reputational loss, all of that happen. So one of the projects that we are working with, the entire chain is connected digitally, and there are multiple participants in the chain. Like there's a farmers who are on the ground in Haryana who are producing the basmati rice. It's a GI tag product. Then there is a input provider, basically providing all the crop inputs, who ensure using their inputs the residue free of the output can be ensured. Then there is a testing laboratory which is involved, who actually test every batch of the produce before it's actually procured and then exported. So the agribusiness connects the entire chain, and only then they're able to confidently say that this batch meets all the standards, and all of these data points are independently put on the blockchain, and hence anybody in the chain can validate the credibility of the claim that is happening. So these are some of the large benefits, and we also spoke a little bit about how we can bring the angle of sustainability, ensuring a connected chain, and making sure all of the other United Nations Sustainability Development Goals, etc., can be integrated into the chain. So that's how beautifully all of this can get rendered into the chain, right? Similarly, working on spices value chain, significant portion of the export market and also domestic consumption happens with spices. Amount of infestation that is there in the adulteration in the market is massive. So only way, with leveraging technology like blockchain and digitizing and having a connected supply chain, you can kind of eliminate many of those things, right? In dairy, for example, amount of adulteration that goes into dairy in dairy in very basic product like milk, right? So preventing that from happening. So imagine you're drinking a cup of milk every day. Most people do, but if it's not safe for consumption, or if you're not confident it's safe for consumption, then it can affect millions of people's lives, and health and so on. So that's why, right from digitizing at the farmer level, collection center, chiller, plant, processing, every packet of rice comes with a QR code or a trace code with which you can scan the entire provenance of the milk dairy product. That's what we've done with one of the customers in India as well. So coffee, another basic product, knowing exactly whether the coffee is produced, how it, what variety, when it was sourced, where it was sourced, when it was sourced, what variety, when it was roasted. All this information like this helps build credibility for the brands and also, help them provide impact back to the farmer. So every cup of coffee that you're buying, then you can ensure that the right value is going back to the farmer as well. So that's another beautiful use case that you can that can be done. Again, packaged food, we talked about it. Madam also was showing a packet of Pringles or even a fish that is sold in the supermarket shelf. This is a baby food product that is actually sold in the market. The entire production chain is digitized and tracked and traced. So as a buyer, as a consumer, you know exactly what is the right quality and how fresh or how clean it is to consume. And at the same time, all of these data points help you to organize the your systems, your internal systems more effectively. Ensure if there is any batch that is deemed to be unfit for consumption, the product recalls and all of that can happen very effectively, and meeting all the compliance standards in the process, right? Export market is significant. A lot of GI tag products. Working with one of the government agencies, the Indian variety of banana was exported to European countries. So the opportunities also what traceability brings in terms of the markets that it opens up is quite significant, apart from all the other benefits that you could see. This is with the seed supply chain. The amount of spurious seeds out in the market, preventing fraud, for example. These are traceability helps prevent many of those spurious seeds and other inputs out in the market. So 60+% of the seeds out in the market are unlabeled. So imagine farmer buying the seed and not able to get germination or the right variety, or it's causes significant financial stress and loss in the market as well. So the opportunity, and hope it gave you a sense of how technology can play a very critical role in ensuring traceability and ensuring that the entire chain is connected, in ensuring that all of the data points that are going in are trustworthy. And as a consumer or an agribusiness, you have enough confidence to use the data to make decisions and have confidence in the entire process, right? So that is how to increase your brand value and so on. So great, thank you so much. So happy to get connected offline to answer any questions and so on. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anil sir, for telling us about blockchain technology. So before we move further in the session, I'll take another, I think 5 minutes, and then we'll be winding up the session. I'm going to put up a series of 3 questions in a poll format for all the participants here. Kamal, if we can have the polls right now. So all the participants, I think on your screens, the poll will be visible. Please, please answer the polls.
This seems like we are appearing for the exam, Pritha.
Yeah.
But we are not appearing, or someone is appearing on our behalf, and we will we will get the result.
Yeah. So in the while all of you are answering the polls, I have some information for all the participants here. Since you have joined us today and participated in this webinar, I would like to tell you that we at FICSI, we conduct many courses with regards to food safety and hygiene that address the needs of the food industry and also all the food professionals, be it students or a person who want to enter the food industry scene. So further to what we have done here today, for the session on food traceability and recall, we have a course that we have developed and designed, and that is available for students and industry members both. It's a one-day course around 6 to 7 hours, and it is scheduled. We have scheduled one of this course on 25th of August, and the course starts at 10 a.m. and it will go up till 5 or 6. That is going to talk to you and teach you in details about the specificities of food traceability and recall system. And all the people who are here, all the participants, we have a special discount for you all. So we will be offering around 25% of flat discount for any person who has attended the webinar here. All you have to do is you have to visit our website at FICSI, and from there you will get the link in participating in that course. Will be sharing the details of that course along with the registration link on the chat screens here. Kamal, if you can please share the link in the chat, and we will be sharing it in email when we send you a feedback form email also. So the charges for that course is 4,000. But since you have attended the session, you will be able to avail that course for 3,000 rupees. Let us know if you're interested in doing that because we are keeping the batch size of not more than 20 people, and it will be first come, first serve. So if you are able to click it and enroll for it, we would be happy to take you on board for that training. That's for the course side of things, and we have shared the link for that course with you. Another thing that I would like to tell, please keep on visiting the FICSI's website. We'll be sharing the link of our website also. We do a lot of webinars, interesting webinars, that we design and cover. We have done two webinars. One was on trends in food packaging and labeling. The second webinar that we conducted last week was on food allergen management. We have one more scheduled next week that will talk about the food supply chain and logistics. And we have many more interesting webinars coming up, in the following weeks. So make sure that you keep on checking our LinkedIn handles, our Facebook page, our FICSI portal to be updated about all the events and training courses that we are doing. So I think that is all from what I wanted to talk about FICSI. I once again take this opportunity to thank speakers Chinmayee ma'am and Anil sir for taking that time out and providing us with such a wonderful and informative session. I'm happy to let you all know that we saw participation of 440 plus people who have attended and who have been consistently attending the session throughout. So that is something really wonderful. And another thing, just a moment, there's something that I'm saying. Yeah. So all the candidates, I mean, all the participants here, if you can please share your email IDs in the chat box now, So we will be able to send the feedback form specifically to you, because what happens is we have observed that when you're registering, you use a name and email ID, but when you join the session here, we're not able to trace back your name and not, send you the feedback form so that, you can give us a feedback and we provide you with the certificate of participation. So now is the time. Please make sure that you give us your email IDs in the chat box. The chat will be open for another 5 to 10 minutes. Make sure that all of you provide us with your email ID. Okay, and thanks again, Chinmayee ma'am, Anil sir, and my entire team at FICSI, who've been working diligently, in pulling all this together. That's all. Thanks again, everyone. I hope all the participants, you had a very interesting and informative session. If you can just, Kamal, if you can just give out our email ID on which they can get back to us. That is helpdesk@fixi.in. So if you have any queries, concerns with regards to the session that you've had today, or you would want any information with regards to the food industry, make sure that you do write to us and get in touch with us. That's all for now. Thanks, ma'am. Thanks, Anil sir. If you can just switch on your cameras, all of you all, I think if all of the people, I mean, even the speakers, if we can have the cameras on, we can take a screenshot. All the people who can switch on their cameras, all the participants, if you can switch on your cameras, we'll take a screenshot right now. Kamal?
You will share with us the photos, Rita?
Yes. And I would also like to inform you all that we have recorded this session. It is available on our YouTube handle. So all the participants, in case you have missed out on any of the specificities that were given during the training, you can get back on YouTube and check the channel. So have you taken the screenshot? Yes. Thanks, everyone. Have a lovely weekend. Thanks again, Anil sir, Chinmayee ma'am, for such a lovely session. I'm really very obliged, that you gave us your time and gave such an informative and nice session. Thanks so much, everyone. Stay safe and have a very good weekend. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Yeah.